back to school week, but back to a host of problems in the education system in England and Wales. Strikes in the offing from the NEU, the biggest teaching union, at the end of the month and the beginning of next month. Questions too about Ofsted inspections. Let's talk to Dr. Mary Bousted, who is the General Secretary of the National Education Union. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Just a thought, first of all, we were hearing from our education editor a few moments ago that at the moment, so far as she could tell, there was nothing happening in terms of talks between you and the government. Is that right? Is there any kind of contact at all at the moment to try to avert those strikes?
No, we haven't been called in for any negotiations or talks about the pay issue at all.
What do you make of that?
I don't really know what to make it. Well, I mean, it's part of a pattern, isn't it, of just not engaging with nurses, not engaging with doctors, not engaging with teachers, not engaging with sectors of public workers who are going on strike because of over a decade now of below inflation pay rises and the effect that's had upon the service that they provide. I find it inexplicable, but I understand you're going to have Gillian Keegan on, and I wonder whether you might ask that question to her, because I can't answer it for her.
Yeah, well, we definitely will. And the suggestion from one of the junior doctors' leaders that actually you and they should be coordinating strike action. Is that something you're tempted to do?
Well, you know, if strike action occurs on the same day, yes, we will do. Our first consideration with strike action is, A, we don't want to do it. We'd rather be in negotiation, and B, when can we do it? When our members will be able to take strike action. So, for example, we're ruling out the exam period. I mean, there are limits to when we can take strike action. If we can act together in solidarity, that is fine, but that's not our first consideration.
Meanwhile, Ofsted, going back to inspections, they say they're inspecting schools normally again this term. What is the union's attitude now to them and to those inspections?
Well, we've had our attitude for some time now, which is that Ofsted is an invalid and unreliable regulator. What that means is that Ofsted's claim to improve schools through inspection is not one that Ofsted can evidence, and it's unreliable in that the inspection judgment depends on the quality of the team that arrives at your school gate. I would add to that the inspection framework, which is now the fifth in 9 years, does not help its reliability, because you've got non-specialist inspectors inspecting subjects and phases of education which they have no experience in and no knowledge of. So, I'm afraid the profession has completely lost any confidence that it might once have had in Ofsted as an inspection agency.
And
indeed, the reverse.
From the point of view of parents, when they see an Ofsted inspection result then, an inspection grade, what should they believe, how much validity should they attach to it?
Very little, I think, particularly with the new inspection framework, but even before. I mean, the basic problem that Ofsted have got, there are three basic problems. One is that it can't keep its inspectors, or indeed it can't keep Her Majesty's inspectors who are employed full-time by Ofsted. So they've got a real staffing problem, and that affects the quality of the inspections that they do. The second problem is that Ofsted doesn't have the time nor the resource to do valid and reliable inspections. And so parents, should take with a liberal pinch of salt any inspection judgment that Ofsted comes to. And the third problem is that it's completely lost the confidence of the profession, not just for its competence, but also for, frankly, its reaction to the tragic death of a head teacher, which was so tin-eared to just really magnify the lack of trust and the lack of rapport, the lack of empathy that the inspector has with a profession which has worked so hard for so long, and particularly under COVID.
We'll be putting some of those points, indeed all of them, I suspect, to Gillian Keegan at 8:10. Dr. Mary Bousted, thank you.